Hi, I thought you were going to film today.
I forgot to take the camera, so.
Well, that's kind of the most important part of it.
I saw you coming down onto the marsh and I'm like, this must be serious because she doesn't ever bring the soup down on the marsh. So yeah, I will take the camera.
Okay, there you go.
All right, I have already checked moth traps, but I can recap it.
Okay, there's a battery. Thanks.
Well, good morning everyone. Doing a little filming today for Jennifer. I actually forgot the camera and I've already done moth traps, but I'm gonna kind of recap what I've found so far this morning. The storm clouds, I don't know if you can see them there. We're kind of going in between showers. I already got rained on once this morning. If you can see the moth traps out in the bed there. I'm trapping Sparganothus fruitworm, cranberry fruitworm, and black-headed fireworm. So things are starting to ramp up on the moth counts. Here you can see Sparganothus fruitworm. I had counts of 65 today, which is definitely ramping up because last week on Thursday I was at 7. So we went from 7 to 65. So things are happening on the fruitworm front. So I will chart those flights until I get to peak, and then 7 to 10 days after peak flight is when I spray. So that's how I track things. But the marsh is looking pretty good. The spring weed control has taken effect and really shown that the beds are pretty clean. I'm happy with that. I got the bees over here, as you can see, a line of beehives. This humid, wet weather isn't great for pollination, so I'm crossing my fingers. It's gonna be wet all week, and I just hope and pray that we get the pollination we need. But we have the honeybees here, and we have bumblebees over on the expansion, so between the two we should get it done. I'm going to finish doing my inspection here this morning and move on to the next things that need to happen today. We have to spray nematodes for flea beetle. We're trying something new this year. I'm just doing 6 acres as more or less a trial because it's an expensive process, but we're going to spray some nematodes later today and to attack the flea beetle in the larval stage. Tonight, when it calms down, we're going to put fungicide on. So yeah, it's going to be a full day. See you in a bit. I wanted to show you this. I got to get my lighting right. How's that? So kind of just give you a view of where we are in growth stage. These are some hybrids called High Red, and we have quite a bit of bloom already. There's a lot of hooks that are developing and quite a fair amount of bloom. And I want to show you something right here. See this? Let me move the camera. That is a bumblebee hive. Now, there's a bumblebee going in right now. See him? See him? And one just flew out of the other hive. And there's a couple flying around. There they just went in, as you can see. Now I'm trying something different this year. Last year I had 4 quads, basically 16 bumblebee hives destroyed by black bears. Totally, there's another bumblebee going in. See him? There he went in. And so I moved these to the other end of the bed on my fertilizer ramp, covered them. They're sitting on plywood, and I have a sheet of plastic, super slide plastic on top to act as a roof to keep the rain off of them. And I'm hoping they're far enough from the woods now that the bears will leave them alone. And then if you look, off in the distance are the honeybees, and you have to keep the bumblebees at least 100 yards from your honeybees, or the honeybees will actually attack the bumblebee hives and destroy all the bumblebees. So trying something different, keeping them right close to the vines, right in the middle of the marsh. There's another bumblebee flying. Bumblebee hives are kind of interesting. They're very docile. As long as you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. If I was this close to a honeybee hive, I would be so full of stingers right now, you wouldn't be able to stand it. So I really like the bumblebees. They will pollinate in any kind of weather, just about, where honeybees are pretty fickle. You have to have just the right weather for a honeybee to want to pollinate. So anyway, I just wanted to show you what I'm trying this year. Kind of a new location and a new placement. Later I'll show you the bumblebee hives on the expansion. They're my traditional bee huts and up on the dike and whatnot. So, but here, let's take a walk down. There, up close and personal, you can see all the bloom and you can see all the pink hooks of the flowers yet to open. It looks promising. I mean, if I could sell bloom, I'd be doing pretty well, but as we know, there's a long way between bloom and berries and a lot that can happen along the way. I'm going to take you over to the expansion and let you take a look at those bumblebee hives and kind of see how those are looking over there, and continue with my morning inspection here. Through the truck windshield here, you can see the honeybee hives. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning and there's definitely activity, but what you don't see is that the majority of the worker bees are already out working. And if you come back in the late afternoon when they're all coming back to the hive, it will just be a roiling, boiling bee cloud as they're all trying to get back into the hive. It's not the type of hive that you just walk up to. At least I don't. I mean, some people, they're like bee whisperers or something and they just aren't concerned about it, but I don't really want to get stung. So I check these out from the truck with the windows closed. Here's the traditional bumblebee setup. I have my little buildings that I put the hives in to keep them protected from the weather. There you can see a bumblebee just went in the back hive, one just flew out of the front hive. I have a whole line of bumblebees all down this dike in the middle of the high red expansion. Let's take a walk over to the bed here. So there you can see fair amount of hooks, fair amount of flowers. There's a few weeds out there, I know. Some dead maple trees that I round up. It's kind of humid, kind of breezy. I did see some honeybees working on some of the other beds. And I'm looking for a honeybee right now. Oh, there's a bumblebee out there. He's out about 12 feet from the camera. I don't know, you probably didn't see him. So you pray for good pollination weather and hope that the bees do what they're supposed to do. And a lot of times you have to sit very still and watch, because the bees will go down into the canopy pollinating and it looks like there aren't any bees there, but if you sit quietly for a couple minutes, you'll see them just hop up and go to the next flower. There's another bumblebee right there, and there's another bumblebee there. Okay, that's a good sign. And see, and that's my point too. Bumblebees will pollinate in any weather. Right now it's windy, it's humid, there's storm clouds rolling in, and the bumblebees are out here getting it done. But I still like to kind of mitigate my risk by getting both bumblebees and honeybees. There's a honeybee out there by the sprinkler. I just saw them. So they're working too. We got to move this tractor out. We got the ditch bank mower on it because we got to get to our sprayer. Last week I was mowing the marsh, got all the ditch banks mowed, all the dike tops. So it's always the prettiest time. Everything's in bloom, the marsh is all trimmed nicely. But now we got to get ready to do some spraying. Got that moved out. I know the camera's kind of herky-jerky. You're just gonna have to bear with me. Alright, we got the sprayer on the back of the Kubota. I get some water in it. Right there she is. So we're gonna fill it with water. And we don't put the nematodes in it till we're ready to spray. So That's going to be when the wind dies, most likely this evening. We'll see if the weather holds. I know we're supposed to get some rain, but we'll look for a spray window and we'll get it done. Let's move it on out. Tell you what, I give vloggers credit because it's hard to do things one-handed when you're holding a camera. All right, time to fill it with some water. Looks good. We got the mower adjusted. We have to go mow the fence line because I have to spray the fence line to keep the weeds down. And right now everything's turning into a jungle with all the rain that we've had. And everything is just a jungle right now. And gotta try to stay ahead of it. Hashtag still mowing. Alright, so we're down on the marsh here. I zoomed out, way out by the fence. There is a tom turkey in full strut. Right in the center of the camera right there. He's trying to work his magic on some hens. That's kind of neat to see that happening. Alright, here we are. Hashtag still mowing the fence line. Getting it ready for spraying the fence line. Yeah, mower's doing his job on the back. Wonder if I could video in the mirror. Nah, the mirror's too small. Tell you what, I didn't bring the magnet to hold the camera, so I'm going to shut it off because I need to watch my mower and I can't do it one-handed.